All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fabulous, fantastic episode of our 5th season of the Everyman Show. That's right, you heard it right. 5th. F-I-F. We plead the 5th in here, and we are in the 5th season. I cannot lie. It is a hell of an accomplishment in here. If you've seen what you're seeing today has been going on for about 5 years we're entering in our 5th year, so we're running strong with our at least we're consistent is what I like to tell people, that we're consistent. We're consistency crazy. But I am John Everyman, and I'm happy to be here, still enjoying time in Central Florida. We're back out here, we're getting to know the area itself, the community, the people. It has been love out here, which again, shout out to my dear friend Juicy Jen. She has been so tremendous in allowing us to come and record episodes, and be tremendous hospitality.
Hostility?
No, not hostility. No, we're not.
No, this isn't the House of Pain.
Listen, man, after so many of these, the words are going to start to jumble. I'm going to start inventing words in a minute, so bear with me. But the hospitality here has been, by far amazing. I want to thank our friend here, Sammy, our producer at Stone, for coming in and just putting in this hard work. It has been overwhelming with the support I have seen. It is just humbling in this experience. And shout out to them, man, and shout out to Central Florida out here, out to Monte Springs, Orlando. I love you guys, man. You guys have been amazing so far. But moving right along in today's episode, we've got Mateo sitting in there in the cut, hiding, tucked away. Man, you are consistent too. You're one consistent fellow with everything you do. You know what? I was wrong about you. I always thought you were someone that didn't see things through, but you do. You are consistent. I take everything back right now. So salute to you.
Dead or alive.
Yeah, no, I can see that, man. And sitting with us, we have a guest. This is an interesting guest, man. I think we haven't had a guest of this caliber either in quite some time or at all that I can remember. We're on 100 and some odd episodes already. They're all starting to blend. I feel like I'm repeating. I feel like I'm interviewing the same person every week. They're just changing outfits on me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you wore a wig last week. You can't fool me. But yes. So our next guest is a producer of sorts, videographer. If I understand correctly.
Mostly a photographer, yeah.
Photography, okay. So we have, I guess the better part is photographer then, right? So we have a photographer sitting with us today, which is fun. I love that. We haven't seen that in a while on our show. This gentleman is no stranger to a lot of workings, because I got a chance to hear a little bit of some of the work you've done, and we even had a chance to look at some of the pictures.
Right. Quite
tasteful. So I'm curious to see what life is like for you as a photographer. But sitting with us, ladies and gentlemen, we have Rick. Rick, thank you for doing this. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah?
Rick.
Rick. Hey, Rick and Morty.
Rick.
I don't know if I go that far, but yeah.
Do you know what Rick and Morty is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, you watch it?
I don't, but my son tells me that's what I should name my Jeep. So.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Florida. I was raised in a little town called Auburndale, which is right in the middle of the state. And I started out. I guess I was born in Wauchula, but the rumor was after 2 weeks of being in Wauchula, I told my parents, "No, let's go."
Wauchula.
Wauchula.
Where is that?
That is in Hardy County. It's a little cattle state, or a county, I should say. It's been reported that Hardy County has the most money per capita for the state of Florida because it's a lot of cattle.
A lot of cattle, little people.
Yeah.
Hey, it'll make money.
It also has another fame. A few years back, about the little girl that was swamped at birth was at Palmetto General, and I tried to use that excuse as they're not my relatives, but
So
Hey, none of us did it out here, and there's only 12.
we got a running theme when we meet people from around Florida. What are the chances of meeting Florida man in Hardy County?
well, quite high. The last statistics I looked at was that 24 to 30% of the people that live in Florida are actually Floridians.
Yeah.
I tell the people up north, the rest are your parents. So that means that your mom can have 20 bingo cards in front of her and knows how to watch every one of them, keep track of every one of them. But when it comes to elections, they don't know what that little dot is for. So,
Rick, let me ask, just to kind of, so we get a little more better perspective on the Florida man question. Are you familiar with Florida man? You know what? Do you understand the reference of Florida man when they say it?
Not Florida man so much, but a lot of people said, Florida, huh? You got a lot of crazy people. I said, no, you better go look.
So that's what Florida man is. The
Yeah.
Florida man is we've got the Florida man and the Florida woman. So
Yeah, Florida man might keep a gator in his house. Florida man might.
Right.
Florida man might go get that gator, name it something, and then go to a mall shopping with it.
Right.
To buy some
Yeah,
gator boots
there
out of
was, there was a
irony.
Florida man with a pet hyena.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah. And
So do you have a lot of those in an area like?
I hear of a lot of them. I mean, I'm a former paramedic, so you can imagine some of the things that I've
You've
seen.
had to have ran into Florida man.
Quite a few. People that carry exotic snakes. We have guys getting bit by a snake, and you got to treat them. But there's a lot of crazy people out there. I mean, but a good Florida guy, if he's got a pet gator, as you said, if it bites him, they'll say, "Well, what'd you do with him? You're eating him."
That's his dinner and his friend.
That's right. How do you like my boots? So,
But Rick, so you said you were born and raised out here, and it looks like you've been out here for quite some time. Then.
yeah.
Did you spend a lot of your life in Auburndale?
I spent a good portion. Most of the time, I lived a little bit for about 6-7 years in Riverview, but I live in Lakeland right now, so which is convenient for me for when doing photography. It's just an hour or two or hour and a half drive either coast to do photo shoots, things like that.
So you're what they refer to as old school in a sense, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
So what's what were times like growing up for you in these parts?
It's been a big change. I'm sure it's like that everywhere. When I was growing up, we didn't lock the front door.
Right. Well, I think I was born in a time when they were starting to lock the doors.
Yeah, but in Auburndale it was so small and it was more of a community thing. And I've always joked that if somebody got a cold within a week, it's an epidemic. That's just how close that type.
Was it a type of town that everyone knew each other out here?
Oh yeah,
right?
pretty much. So my dad was a volunteer fireman and everybody knew him.
So there was nothing you could do.
Oh no! If I wanted to go party, I have to get out of the county.
Hey, you really wanted to go have fun, but listen, we got to go past Orlando.
Well,
It's the type of place where you got to be used to driving 45 minutes an hour.
oh yeah, all right. Well, my dad was a fireman, and everybody knew him, and my uncle was a police captain in Winter Haven. So if I was going to go out and have fun, it was either Lakeland or Tampa or Orlando.
You really had to drive.
Had to get out.
So, he made an interesting mention. So everything's it seems like 30 minutes, 45-minute drive to everything out here.
Right.
Was that the case always out here?
No. That's before Disney. And when Disney got in there, coming to Orlando, you might as well figure it's going to be.
Were you around before Disney?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was.
So this really was quiet then.
Yeah, it was really quiet. Yeah.
This here didn't have the activity that was.
No. It was an easy drive going to Orlando and what have you. But now that Disney's here, if you want to get somewhere quick, you might as well forget it. There's for some reason or other, there's a type of traffic before you get to Champions Gate. It's like,
yeah, of course, the worst highway in America, worse than I-95 according to the numbers. But
Jesus.
Everybody used to report used to say that I-4 was the most dangerous road in Florida. I disagree. The most dangerous roads in Florida per se are in front of eye clinics. So
He caught me there for a second. I said, "What?" Yeah, you're right. Actually,
If you think about it.
I'd be scared driving in a parking lot in the villages with all them old people.
Well, now you got to remember the villages. That's if you look at the statistics of the villages, it's the highest case of STDs.
Oh yeah, no, we learned that. We had a chance
been to the villages.
Yeah, we've been there.
I mean, you go drove through there about 11 o'clock at night, and you hear little old ladies spelling the word "run." Think about it.
Are you in?
I don't know. Who are you?
So you know what? I love that he asked that question. I know it has a high STT rate, but do you yourself go out there and party?
Oh no. I'm clean.
You mentioned a brief moment ago you worked for Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue. Miami-Dade.
Polk County.
My bad, wrong place.
Polk County. Yeah, that's right. A little bit further north.
Right? So you work for Polk County.
Yeah, I was a former firefighter, paramedic.
How many years did you do that for?
I did it for about 15 years.
15 years? Mm-hmm. Okay, did you feel it was a rewarding job being out here? I'm sure nothing really happened out here.
I don't know about that.
I have to say, it was rewarding, not in the heart, but not in the pocketbook, so to speak. But
really? They're underpaid? Well, are
they're very underpaid. I mean, if you look at most firefighters and paramedics today, they have two jobs. You know, their regular job, and then they have a job they do when they're off, just to supplement it. But it's also a very tough job. A lot of people don't realize when you get in an accident or you have somebody that's suicide, it's not just your family.
Oh, that's heavy.
It remains in the heart of those guys who were there to try to save you. So, and that was my issue. I mean, after a while, I was diagnosed with PTSD, and my physician wanted to put me on Zoloft. I said, no, I know what it is, and I was able to, and that's why I got into photography.
So I've pulled people out of the car in an accident. Car fell in the ditch. There was two cars, two people. Not a paramedic, but I had to decide what person I had to help first.
Exactly.
The other person was really hurt, and by the time I saw them get pulled out and their fucking legs were, and that image sticks with me, and I can imagine that if that's the life that you're living.
That's a point where you have to play God. You know, who to save and who you can't. And that's a tough decision. That's a very tough decision. And you make that decision on the facts, but you have to live with it. And that's the hardest part, having to live with it.
Have you had and hopefully, I hope it's a no, but have you had to help anyone that you were familiar with or friend of yours?
No, fortunately not. I haven't, but
that's good.
Not that so much it's a personal, but somebody you've known. But you find things like when my oldest daughter was 4, I had a 4-year-old that was hit by a car because she ran out and the guy couldn't stop, and I did everything I was trained to do and everything I wasn't trained to do, and I could save her. I put her in my arms, and that's where she died, and that was number one. Then had a situation where a car went into a creek, and the parents got the wife got her purse and got a 6-pack, and the husband got 2 6-pack, but left their 4-year-old in the back of the car underwater.
Holy shit.
And then it was 2 days after that, I had a little boy that died of SIDS, which is for the most part normal or natural, but he was wearing the same pajamas as my little boy, and it was the same age. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I
would have to question. Heavy on the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's. Had you done photography prior to this? You said that's what you did.
I did a little bit, but not to the point where I'm at now. I left the EMS, and I was hired by a durable medical equipment company. I became their marketing person. And it wasn't long that led me to become the official photographer for Sun and Fun Fly-In in Lakeland.
Okay, so like a private flying company?
Well, it's actually the second largest air show in the country.
Oh, wow!
And I became their official photographer and that's how I got into it full time.
So you were riding planes, taking pictures?
I was hanging out of planes, taking pictures.
Hell yeah!
How do you hang out of a plane, taking a picture? What, do they strap you out to the
side? No, there was no strap. The one I was notorious about was I sat on the strut of a Cessna seaplane, with no parachute, nothing. 1 foot on the pontoon, one in the car, in the cockpit, and then the only thing that leading me to the plane was the headphones, and we were doing about 2,500 feet over Lakeland.
Listen,
no parachute, nothing.
I wonder how that went. Hey, Rick, you want this job? You better get on the wing of that jet plane.
Seems like you chose to do
No, I just got out there and I had the pilots yelling at me, saying, "Are you out of your mind? Shut up! Come on, move up! I got to get a picture."
Oh, it was Rick. Hey, Rick. Take your camera with the went, Rick.
Tom Cruise don't got shit on that.
No. He can hang on to it, but
so you had no regard for like.
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Oh well, there you go. Well, yeah, no, if you're an adrenaline junkie, that's different.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at where I'm at now. I'm riding, doing work with Jen, and it's like a big roller coaster. All you do is hang on and ride, hang on and hope for the best, and shut up. And then at the end, she looks at you. But did you die? But
yeah, no, I'm sure of it. I'm sure she'll keep your adrenaline.
I love her to death. I love her to death.
I wanted to just take a step back. You said you dabbled a little bit in photography, but was it always a passion for you?
No, well, I can't say no. It was a little bit. I started learning that I was seeing things that other people couldn't see.
Okay.
Or didn't see. And then I used that, and then and that's the paramedic part of it. You see things that most people don't see.
Right, the untrained eye.
And so I got to where I see things that nobody else was seeing, and then it just took hold from there. And the Firefighter was the catalyst. Doing photos of planes, the people, shooting high-speed flybys and all. I developed an eye for what I was looking for. And I got a little bit more daring, and with Sunnyfun, then they knew my background, so I ended up doing all the investigative photos for NTSB and for the Lakeland Fire Department and Police Department for investigation for crashes.
How did you? Because you were talking for a second, you were taking your official picture for the second largest air show,
Police Department, Fire Department.
How did you go from that jump to, hey Jen, come here and squish them together, puppies?
It's it was more or less an accident, if you will, and it was that inside that you want to step out and do and test yourself and do a little bit more.
Sure.
And I got asked to do a couple outdoor photos and stuff in bathing suits and stuff like that, and I thought I can do better than that.
I could get them to take it off.
Yeah. And I have, one model in particular, Chelsea, who she'd never modeled before, and I was driving on Highway 60 towards Bartow and happened to look over to a lounge there and saw a bike wash. And I saw Chelsea washing back, and I was on the phone talking to somebody, and I got a mile down the road, and I said, you know what, this is too good to pass up. So I'll call you back. And I turned around, and we did an on-prompt shoot. She'd never modeled before, and she's one of the most beautiful girls, and everybody loves her photos. And we've done a few more photos of there, and then we did a private shoot at Hellbender's Choppers over in Largo, and we had it roped, cordoned off, and I set up all my lighting, and she got up on a toolbox and did a couple shots there, and I said, how comfortable are you? Because we've been shooting for a couple months in. Mm-hmm. She says, I'm pretty comfortable. I said, give me your top. She handed me her top. And then we did a couple more shoots. I said, are you any comfortable? She said, yeah, and she handed me her bottoms. That's the catalyst that went into that. And so, and that led to other models like Angela Tilley, who's been in every magazine you can think about. And then just through a group called Tattooed Sweethearts, which is no longer, that did bike washes, I met more and more models. And then as the word got out, because I have a couple rules. One, I don't touch the models.
Right.
If there's something out of place, I'll ask them to straighten it out. If they can't do that, then I'll say, can I do it? And I get permission for it. And the word got out pretty quick that I was a professional and very respected. And I don't.
Right, you weren't trying to hit on these ladies.
No, and because
there's a bad reputation for that with photographers, and you just want to be on the professional side. I
fear for the younger ones. The younger ones think they're probably going to get laid.
Well, there's some dudes that they're not real photographers. There
is a group of creepy type of people.
Have you met?
Yeah, I had one guy that wanted to follow me around and learn what I was doing, and he made the mistake after we were doing the photo. He said, you got the perfect breast for this type of photography. I said, you're gone. That's to me, that's over the line. Yeah, they know they're pretty and everything else, and so because I don't want that kind of reputation.
You got a short leash on that tolerance.
Right.
Do you ever get aroused while you're working?
No, I don't, and it's funny you bring that up because it's a job.
He takes the anti-Viagra before he gets there.
He does
not angry.
I'm thinking like, you're thinking, what is sexy?
Well, and you're sitting there and you've got a beautiful girl in front of you and you're doing photos of her and all you can do is say, Grandma in panties, Grandma in panties. But
and then you're thinking about your boy's grandma.
No,
she's pretty hot.
Because I would rather not be just.
But there's another side of that coin. If it's arousing to you, guess what it's going to do to everybody that sees the pictures?
Yeah.
I told Jen one time, I said, I feel like the kid that got accidentally locked up in the candy store and somebody locked the candy. You're there.
There you got to remind yourself, if I were only diabetic. When you go out and you're out sociably and you see yourself a nice little lady friend, that isn't a model, that you're trying to introduce yourself to, do you make mentions and go, hey, I take nude photos?
There's a fine line there.
Listen, if it were me, I'd use it. That would be my line.
I
wouldn't even say my name first. I'd be like, photographer.
If I was 30 years younger, I could probably get away with it. But at my age, it can come like a creepy old man. So you have to be very.
I mean, if she's a
slightly older,
she might like that, right? Like,
well, yeah.
I'd probably go to an older woman and be like, hey, like I said, I wouldn't even say my name first. I'd be like, I take nude photos of women. How you doing? My name is John. Just lead off with that first. I need you to understand.
Man, I see how you go about booking the show. If you're a photographer,
you know what I mean? That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
You just go up to the woman. She'll get the rest after that.
I mean, I could probably use one of my old pickup lines and add to it. Say, you see this face? I said, yeah. Since leaving town in 5 minutes, be on it. I have a camera. But no, I've approached women out there and kind of gingerly explain what I do.
Do they receive it? Okay?
Most of them do. Most of them do. I've had wives go, well, can I talk to my husband? And I said, sure. If he wants to come, I'd be more than happy to have him there. That way he knows who I am. And one of my models, Erica Herder, she met me. She was a little apprehensive because we talked on the phone. Mm-hmm. And I met her out at the Green Swamp Wildlife Preserve. Mm-hmm. And she said, I almost turned around because I got real nervous, and then did a couple shoots and all, and she started relaxing, and she just loved it and everything else. And then I got a call from her later on that afternoon. She said, my husband saw these photos. He said, of all the photographers you've ever dealt with, because she's been in Babe magazine, a few others, she said, he's the best. And so she just loves, and then she showed other photographers my photography in the woods and tried to duplicate it. Didn't even come close.
Maybe it's the camera. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's in the woods. He knows Florida.
It's not so much the camera; it's the lighting.
And the lighting too, right? I was gonna say that there's a little bit of variable about it. It takes a little bit of game and knowing what you're doing with the angles.
Well, nobody could take pictures at Tropical Park like a photographer that's been to Tropical Park a million times.
Right.
Well, this was my first day there, but I put the flash there and concentrated on her. All the other ones I've seen is they just took a standard picture of her, and she kind of blended a little bit with the background, which didn't highlight her at all. I used the flash to put on her and concentrate on the subject, and mess around with like this particular one. She was wearing pink lace and a pink flower in her hair, and that was a contrast to all the green in the background, and it turned out beautiful. It was.
There's a science to it. Like there's, for me, I can't just snap a picture like that. Let me ask you. So, how important is it for these models to work with photographers?
It's up to them. A lot of them, it's I guess to them is like kissing a lot of frogs till you get the right one. But I usually try to be a stepping stone for those models, especially the new ones that want to get into it. So I'll do the photos, we set it up for a portfolio and things like that. Those that have done it before, it helps me out, and then I turn right around and give the models all the photos. They belong to them, and then all I do is, if I put it on my website or something like that, some of the best ones. But those models that post for me, those are their photos. They get to do with what they want.
Let me ask you, do you believe in airbrushing?
To a point.
To a point?
To a point, because I had that one photographer previous. He when he split off, did a couple. He tried every time I'd post a picture, he'd post one, and he'd go in there and say, "Well, I changed her eye color." Why? Why did you change her eye color? That's not her.
Yeah, you just did it to do something on Photoshop.
Yeah, that's not her. If, for instance, if they have a scar, I'll take it out. If they want it out, I'll take it out. If they just freshly shaved, and you got that little bit of razor burn, I'll take that out.
Can you make them look skinnier?
There are apps I can do that for you.
To do that.
Huh?
But as a consumer, I want to see that stretch mark. I want to see that scar.
No, hey, I like them with some stretch marks.
That's how he knows they're not virgins.
A little tired, like they haven't slept and shit. Like they're one bad day from.
No, I don't know about that far. I don't want to see. I want to see someone that looks like they're enjoying themselves.
No, I like mine a little sad.
I don't try to interfere with the model too much as far as their look, because they're beautiful already.
I think if they want to pose naked, they're confident in their body.
That's right.
To do that.
It's our 5th season here. We are celebrating season 5 here on the Everyman Show, and with all our guests, we are asking them what's their top 5. But as far as what the top 5 will be, we're gonna kind of figure that out.
I think I got a fun one.
You got one for him? What do you got?
Because you're a Central Florida lifer. Mm-hmm. What are top 5 towns in Central Florida? East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. Just places people should check out.
As far as visiting, or as far
as... For you, what's your top 5 cities in the state of Florida?
It's Tampa, Orlando. I like St. Augustine. I like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Key West.
Okay, well, he named all of our neighborhoods. You see, people up here love us. You heard that? People up here love us. We're in his top 5. Miami got to mention. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, I could have done without.
For instance, this is Miami too. You know?
Fort Lauderdale's like saying Miami.
Yeah, but Miami.
No, but Fort Lauderdale's like Tampa got St. Pete, Miami got Fort Lauderdale.
One of my favorite restaurants, and I don't know if they're still there, I ate there many years ago, was the Forge there near South Beach. It was probably one of the
the Forge was great.
And great steaks. But here in Orlando, I always eat at Charlie's on International Drive. If you want a steak, that's
Charlie's?
it. Yeah, they ate this one here.
I still got some days out here.
Hey, Orlando got some good food, some good Hispanic food, some good steakhouse.
Orlando's like my second home. I love Orlando so much.
It's just like Miami. It's got a melting pot of all different types.
It does.
And so, but the food, like I used to know the manager at Charlie's, but they age their steaks there. It's really good. But I have one daughter who's a vegan. She's trying to get me over this ethos, and I'm like,
Nah, hey, listen, you tell her, man. Listen, I don't live life way too long.
I'm too much of a carnivore.
Yeah, forget that. Man, listen, if you made it this far eating meat, keep going.
That's right.
Whatever. Like, you might as well. Like, what the hell are you going to switch for vegan for? If I was your age and someone said, you should go consider vegan, I'll slap the shit out of you. Don't tell me that at this age, man. I'm going to keep on with my steak. I got this far with steak, not celery.
I told my daughter, I said, I eat steak, so that means you got plenty of food left over.
Tell her to send it over. What's really your goal with all of this? What do you? I mean, I know you're a little further along with life. You know, I'm sure you've accomplished so much right now. You know, what's left for you with doing this in photography? Well, what's the goal?
Everything I've ever attempted, I've succeeded in. I was the first paramedic in the state of Florida. I was a firefighter. I founded the Polk County.
You were the first paramedic in the state?
One of the first 100 in the state of Florida.
In the state of Florida? When did the paramedics get invented?
Back in '74.
What did we have before that?
It's people dying on the way to the hospital.
You just called somebody.
Standard first aid, or standard first aid, and some call it last aid, but even. And then I founded the Polk County Underwater Search and Recovery Team, which is now under the Sheriff's Department. And I rode ambulances with the likes of Grady Judd. And
who's Grady Judd?
The Sheriff of Polk County.
Oh, there we go. That's right.
We talked about him.
We were talking about him earlier, right?
Yeah.
I was like, how come I know this name right now?
Yeah.
I'm such a Polk County.
I've known him for years. I went to school with his wife, but. as far as, I'm a pilot. I've got a series of firsts and stuff like that. This was just, now that I'm retired, this is just another step to take it. I've never given less than 100% of whatever I do.
Right on.
And so I'm that type of personality to say, well, you can't do that. And so here, hold my beer. I'll prove you wrong every time. But my goal for photography in this is, do I get notoriety? Sometimes. But I want to get to the point to where when somebody looks at that picture, it's like, whoa, that wow factor.
It makes someone jizz in their pants.
Yeah.
Right.
I want that wow factor, but I want the credit to also go to that model.
I have had so much fun talking to you, Rick. I knew it was going to be good. I knew when he sat here, I said, man, I just want to make sure.
Our fans are going to like this episode.
Yeah, I think I've had such a good time here with you. And I feel like I know that once I look back at this, I'm going to be like, damn it, I didn't ask him that. And you mentioned so many things you've done throughout life.
I just have that personality or that attitude that if somebody tells me I can't do it, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I learned computer software in a book in a week's time and never had the background, and turned around and got the job doing lectures on computer software. And so I just have that personality.
Man, you're like the jack of all trades.
Well,
Huh?
Gotta do it.
You're right.
Well, you got to. In this generation today, they don't know what the term work means. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
they want that instant money. That's it.
But let's not, if you start talking to, you might get the wrong one and say, "Well, I do Bitcoin." Rick, I want to thank you again for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you for your time. It's been awesome. Can you please just one more time share the information where people can book you or follow you on Instagram?
They can follow me on Instagram at Photography by Richard, the number 20. They can also find me on imagesbyrichard.viewbug.com. And if they want to contact me, it is photography by Richard, the number 16 at yahoo.com.
Fantastic. Did you have a good time?
Oh, I had a great time.
That's fantastic, man. I mean, not for nothing, we're not trying to set records in here, man, but you might have been the oldest man we've had on here.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Let's say the wisest man. But I
the
think
wisest, I like that
this
one.
was a good episode of the Everyman Show. I think, we do a show for the Everyman. This is a show the Everyman will enjoy.
It is. I think you helped us reach again.
And check this Instagram out. There's some great sites.
Well, you got...
Oh, you're looking at them right now?
Oh, I see the photo from the Green Swamp. It's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll check this out later. Guys, make sure you follow us as well on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Get your notifications. Hit that subscribe button, guys. It's Everyman Podcast Show for those out there who want to follow us on the streaming platforms, on social media. It's simple. Everyman Podcast Show. Thank you to Mateo for coming through, man, and hanging out again. I am John Everyman. Guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out. We done.
I never been one to back down from a challenge, I just make it happen. Never back down. My time is never mismanaged, I'm always in balance. Doing what I think, no afterthoughts. Aiming for the stars like astronauts. Shuttle ready. Mission control. Countdown sequence, ready to launch. Never been one for what's typical. Boring, flat, predictable.
Oh, they said they ain't cutting the lights off. Okay, I was just making
You
sure.
don't pay me enough.
Yeah, the sound guy says it's over. Fuck you. I don't even care if I got nothing to do with the electricity. I'm just out of here.